Athena! No!
Find
Why do you sacrifice yourself?
to save Olympus.
I do not seek to destroy Olympus.
Athena refused to know her mistake.
Why would you betray me?
Zeus is Olympus.
He brought this to himself.
Because of fear, Kratos. A fear felt by his father, Kronos. A fear that wrought the great war. A fear that drove Zeus to kill you, his own son. Just as Zeus was compelled to destroy his father, you are compelled to do the same. No son should destroy his own father. God after God will deny you. Zeus must live so that Olympus will prevail.
Remember, Kratos, you have the power to control time itself.
If all on Olympus will deny me my vengeance, then all on Olympus will die.
You have started a war you cannot possibly win.
We have been expecting you, Ghost of Sparta. The gods are far too powerful for us to defeat now.
All on Olympus tremble at my name. Zeus is weak. Ares and Athena are dead, and I wield the blade. We can win the Great War, but not in this time. Together, we will destroy the petty gods, and we will see Olympus crumble before us. Come with me, Gaia. Return to my time. Victory awaits.
Saga ends here.
Before the age of the twilight set upon the gods, a legend rose to claim his place among them. And even though Kratos sat on the throne as the new god of war, he was haunted by visions of his family. A family he himself murdered. But the hands of death could not defeat him. The sisters of fate could not control him. And on this day, the man, the legend, Kratos, will have his revenge.
brothers. We were forged in victory. A victory that ended the Great War and brought forth the reign of Mount Olympus. Born from the depths of the underworld. Rooted in the River of Souls. Our mountain emerged out of the chaos. As it grew, so too did the might of the Olympians. We created a world of peace, a world of prosperity, a world that lives in the shadow and safety of my mountain. A mountain that has come to be the absolute measure of strength and power. Now, on this day, that power is to be tested. The mortal Kratos seeks to destroy all that I have wrought. Brothers, put aside the petty grievances that have splintered us for so long. We will unite. We will stand together. And I will wipe out this plague. Olympus will prevail.
Sun has returned. I bring the destruction of Olympus!
The Titans will fail again!
Welcome everybody to Let's Play God of War 3, originally released March 16th, 2010 in the US. It was then re-released as part of the God of War Saga, a collection of 5 God of War titles, in August 28th, 2012, before finally being remastered by Wholesale Algorithms, not Sony Santa Monica, in 2015, which is the version that we're playing. Time for a cutscene. So yeah, that's some basic information about God of War, some basic release dates. Initially released in 2010, then again re-released in 2012 as part of a collection, and now it is remastered in 2015. We are playing the God of War 3 Remastered version on PlayStation 5. It was developed for PlayStation 4, but of course it's backwards compatible and works on PlayStation 5, which is how I'm playing it now. It's a fantastic game. I love it. This is probably the shortest cold open that we have in the initial trilogy. Discounting all of the opening stuff, the opening cutscene, and all the opening stuff that I put in the beginning. This actual opening is about 20-something minutes. It's not that long. It's a pretty short opening, but it does a really, really great job, just as the God of War 1 and God of War 2 intros did, of introducing you to all of the mechanics in a very, very efficient manner. As you'll see, some of the mechanics are introduced like 2 or 3 at a time during big battles and stuff. It's really well done how they introduce all of the important things you have to know in a really, really short amount of time. I really, really like God of War 3. I wouldn't say it's my favorite of the God of War titles. I think God of War 2 barely beats it out, but not by that much. We're going through all the menus here, so I'm just going to talk about what I think about God of War 3 in general. I would place this probably second, right behind God of War 2. The story has a few pacing things that I'm not really a big fan of, but overall it's fine. I don't think it's as good as God of War. It's as strong as God of War 2's story. God of War 2's story. The thing that really makes God of War 3, though, that makes it one of the best entries in the franchise, only behind God of War 2, is the gameplay. The gameplay is the best. Even the games that come out after this, Ghost of Sparta and Ascension, they're not as good in terms of gameplay as compared to God of War 3. God of War 3 is the pinnacle of the God of War Greek era combat. Right now we're facing off against one of Poseidon's Hippocampi creatures, which is a horse crab water thing. Jeez, it's very ugly. But it's showing us this fight introduces to us various forms of combat that not just regular combat, but combat on a ceiling and combat via wall. It's introducing to us the mechanic of actually being able to traverse ceilings and traverse walls and fighting on ceilings and walls all at the same time. It's really, really well done. It's an excellent beginning boss. Phenomenal in scope, technically impressive in every way, to the point where this game originally came out in 2010. There are games in 2023, which is the year we're in right now, the year that I'm recording this in right now, that still don't fully match up, or that this equates to, because it's just such an incredibly technically impressive opening. I love it. It's a fantastic fight. It's a fantastic opening. They really Sony Santa Monica really put in everything to make this the most impressive and, to borrow the term, epic game of their calendar. It's of their roster, I should say. It's really something else. It's so cool. The strategy for the Hippocampi, very simple. I mean, just for the first 3 phases, the walking around phase, the ceiling phase, the wall phase, just attack. He has very, very slow telegraphed attacks. This final phase is probably the most complicated one, because he occasionally throws out that beam of water that's very, very difficult very difficult to dodge, and he has that attack where he slams down throughout the entire front half of the arena. Just use your magic. Kratos has access to his to the Blade of Olympus from God of War 2. Just anytime this thing is doing an attack, just use R2. Don't bother using the magic during phase 1 when you're also running around and doing combat against this thing. Just save your magic for phase 4, the final phase, so that any attack that this thing does, you just very, very easily and safely use magic to get invincibility frames and do damage while you yourself don't take damage. Very, very simple and straightforward. Not much to say about this mini-boss. And it is a mini-boss. We're building up to our first epic boss, but that Hippocampi creature was our first mini-boss. And now we're on Mount Olympus. Welcome. God of War 3 features 2 main areas that we're going to be exploring, just utterly and completely. Mount Olympus is one of those 2 areas. We're going to be exploring every single nook and cranny of this place in a way that we have not in other games. And it's going to be very, very exciting to show you. And now we're back in control. We have a very, very brief traversing slide thing here. Not that crazy. But again, the opening of God of War 3 does an excellent job of teaching you everything it has to teach you about the overall game in a very, very short amount of time. It's very impressive just how much they pack into this very, very short this very mechanically short opening. It's very technically impressive, but in terms of the actual things you're doing, it's very, very short. We're going to be done in, like, 10 minutes from now. It's really, really not that much to it. In terms of combat, Kratos has a new grab mechanic. Now when he grabs unarmored enemies, he is going to be able to run around and ram other people, other enemies, big and small, with them. That is going to be our main gameplay crutch for God of War 3 Chaos Mode, and I am playing this on Chaos Mode, which is the highest difficulty of God of War 3. It is the very hard mode of God of War 3, same as how Titan Mode was the very hard mode of God of War 2, and God Mode was the very hard mode of God of War 1. Yeah, we're playing this on Chaos Mode. This, what I'm doing now, grabbing enemies and just going to town, just running and ramming people with Kratos' little football technique there. That's exactly what we're going to be doing for the majority of the game. Because they really wanted to push that mechanic of grabbing enemies and running around and ramming other enemies with them, a lot of the enemies in God of War 3, even in Chaos Mode, are going to be unarmored, basic enemies. And because of that, we're going to have lots and lots of opportunities to grab enemies and just dash around the arena really, really fast, invincible, and ramming our chosen enemy into other enemies to do major damage. So, in a lot of ways, God of War 3 is easier. In a lot of ways, God of War 3 is easier because you have a whole bunch of new mechanics that really mean that you don't have to rely on your old tricks anymore. We're not going to be launching enemies up into the sky to do the classic launching enemies into the sky and keeping them invulnerable up there while we do all the damage possible. God of War 3 has so many fantastic weapons and so many fantastic little strategies to employ against enemies, and a fantastic parry mechanic that still is better here than it was even in God of War 2, that we don't really need to worry about committing to certain strategies with the majority of enemies, as we've done in God of War 1 and God of War 2. We're going to commit to a few things when they become available to us. Again, the grabbing soldiers, grabbing unarmored soldiers and ramming them into other things is going to be very, very helpful. But especially in lower difficulties, God of War 3 really, really promotes experimentation and player expression of combat. It's really something to behold. God of War 3 remains the most mechanically impressive title of the Greek saga. I don't know if it's better mechanically than 2018 and Ragnarok, but certainly compared to 1, 2, Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, and Ascension, God of War 3 is really impressive. It's really good. I really like God of War 3 a lot. It's so mechanically sound. It's so satisfying to play, and it's so rewarding to play in higher difficulties because you have so much option of combat. You have so many options when you're doing combat that it's really something to behold. Seeing some high level play in God of War 3, and I'm not that good at God of War 3. I really like it, but I'm not that good at it, and it's really something to behold when you go to town in this game in the highest difficulty. Anyway, I rambled on about why I like this game so much. Let's talk a little bit more about the background. Here we have Ares, the remains of Ares, the fallen god of war from the first God of War game. Hooray, he's dead. That's his corpse. Haha. The game was directed by Stig Asmussen. Perhaps you may recognize him. He has directed some very recent fantastic titles. In 2019, he directed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and in 2023 was responsible for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which are both great games, despite some technical hiccups, especially with Survivor, but really both of them. Stig was heavily involved in the God of War series. He was the lead environment artist of God of War 1, the art director of God of War 2, of Chains of Olympus, the director of 3, as we're talking about now, and added some additional art support for God of War Ascension. Here is the save feature of God of War 3 again. This is going to be the only time we actually see it, as per the usual. showing off that I'm playing this game on Chaos mode. I'll show it off again in episode 3 that I'm playing this on the highest difficulty. Anyway, gonna open this up, and we have a fight with a second Hippocampi. Hooray! So compared to the first Hippocampi battle, this one is going to be more... There's more involved in this one, so we'll walk through and talk through this particular fight here. So phase 1 of the fight, he has some basic attacks. You cannot really block that big slam attack, but you can use magic to make yourself invincible and do damage while this horse crab monster water thing does that big slam attack. If he does basic swipes, you can block those, you can parry those. There's no issue with those. Those little swipes are all blockable, no issue. Anytime you see him rear back to do the slam dough, use R2 to do the Blade of Olympus magic. That is the magic that comes equipped with the Blades of Athena. Every single weapon that we have in this game is going to have one magic attack associated with it. That's going to be connected to the R2 button. For the Blades of Athena, which is our starting weapon that we've had here this whole time, doing classic God of War 2 combos. The magic associated with it is the Blade of Olympus. It does a big lightning tornado, similar to what Zeus did when he banished all the Titans to Tartarus, as we saw in the flashbacks of God of War 2. Be careful, we are playing on Chaos mode, so mistakes are heavily punished. Even though this opening is not that difficult, just a few mistakes are enough to really mess up your day. Once the Hippocampi goes down and we get into the first QTE, this is actually the second QTE that we've done. We already saw the first one would be the first Hippocampi. When we get to the first QTE of the second Hippocampi battle, you know that we are done with the first phase. You can see that the jaw, that the bottom part of the Hippocampi's mouth is gone. So this is still the same Hippocampi creature that we fought at the beginning. Just it's back for a rematch. Anyway, once you do the first QTE, you're on to phase 2. Exactly the same as phase 1. It still has that little swipe attack. It's going to have that big rear back attack. It also now adds in its water breath blast attack from the first battle. That's back now in phase 2. If it does that, just use your R2 magic. Attack fast and furious. You have a limited supply of magic, so you want to make sure that you don't waste it before you get to the second little QTE sequence here, where you take this little crab leg and just smash it into the heart of this Hippocampi to finally kill it. You have limited magic, so even though you are invulnerable while using it, you have limited uses. You have like 5 or 6 or 7 uses of it, so make sure you don't waste it. Please make sure you don't waste it, because in Chaos mode, if you waste it and then Hippocampi starts attacking you with difficult to deal with attacks, then it's over. It does have one other attack it didn't show off, where it kind of just like marches from one half of the arena from its end to the arena all the way to the other end. By the way, this is a very weird little glitch that I encountered in God of War Remastered, where the rocks were all weird. I mean, look at those textures; they're all messed up. Anyway, there is one other attack the Hippocampi does where it can like crab march from where it is all the way to the end of the arena where Kratos is. If it does that, you can just block that and just use magic to punish it for doing that. Anyway, this is probably the only quiet part. This is the only quiet part of the whole opening sequence, the Heart of Gaia section, which is going to be kind of, well, not kind of. It's foreshadowing what the ending is going to be all about. As this is going to be one of the areas that we will be returning to much later on in the game. But for now, it's just a quiet area to introduce more things, such as climbing, such as collectibles, as we'll see in 1 second. Kratos is about to collect. Here we go. Zeus's Eagle, the first prized possession of the game. There are 10 possessions, 10 godly possessions to collect throughout the course of the game. Zeus's Eagle is the first one, and the only collectible of this whole opening sequence of the game. Getting to see Zeus's opinions of the Titans. His father is just a big child gobbling monster, and fair enough. Kronos did do that. That's what happens when you're slaves to prophecy, as everyone in the Greek lands is. This game looks gorgeous. I've said that in my ramblings earlier, but this game just looks absolutely incredible. There are games now that look as good or don't look as good, which is crazy considering this is a 2010 title. A lot of that is thanks to the lighting. This game is just a feast for the eyes. Now I that weird double screen situation. Now I did mention Stig Asmussen, the director of God of War 3. I am going to post a link to an article that describes how the director of God of War 3, Stig, who has been part of the God of War series since the beginning, how he almost ended up naming Kratos after himself. You'll see. But first, cutscene.
Challenge me, mortal? A god of Olympus?
A true warrior does not hide, Poseidon! Leave the sea and face me!
You have disrespected the gods for the last time, Kratos.
Anyway, you can check out the article for yourself. It's a very, very interesting tale about how Kratos almost ended up becoming named Stig, back when he was still named Dominus. Anyway, the Poseidon boss battle. Very, very impressive looking, but very, very easy mechanically, don't worry. He only has 2 attacks in phase 1. He's going to be slamming Hippocampi crab claws from one direction or the other. They're very easily telegraphed. You can see it coming from a mile away. There's no issue with it. He also does lightning. Same thing, very easily telegraphed one way or the other. He's either going to use his crab legs or he's going to use lightning. Either way, it's very, very easily telegraphed. There's not much to phase 1. Just very, very quickly get rid of the crab legs on both sides of Guy's head, and you can move on to phase 2, where you get to fight the Poseidon water thing. The Poseidon water shield sword, yeah, whatever. His water avatar. There we go. That's a word. His water avatar, one-on-one. The water avatar has 3 attacks that hit and slam down the trident to cause an electrical barrier where he's at. So that'll make it so you can't just keep attacking him. He can smack you while you're directly attacking. While you're directly attacking him, he just kind of backhands you. And he has one other attack that we'll see in a little bit. But for now, he's very, very obsessed with just doing this very basic trident slam attack. Whenever he does that, just run over to the very end where we're at. You're going to be safe there. Here's his backhand. You can block that easily and just keep punishing him. This is his trident, his triple trident slam, where he's going to slam the trident 3 times. Whenever he does that, climb up the vines on the side of Guy's head, on the side of Guy's hand. Make sure you climb all the way to the top. You don't technically have to, but especially in Chaos mode, there is a weird hitbox when Poseidon picks up the trident for the final time to go back to his idle animation. Make sure you climb all the way to the very, very top of the vine, because if not, then the weird hitbox of him grabbing the trident and grabbing the trident for the final time and going back to his idle animation could end up winging you. And because it's Chaos mode, it does so much damage. So make sure when he does his regular trident attack, you run to the end. When he does his backhand, you block. When he does his triple trident slam, climb up the vines all the way to the top for safety, just in case he also has that smack attack. That's also blockable. That's fine. So, 2 melee attacks, 2 trident attacks, all easy to deal with. Keep punishing him. I wouldn't waste your magic at this point. You want to save your magic for phase 3 when the attacks that he starts doing, when the attacks he does become a little bit more complicated. You want to you want to save your magic and potential invincibility frames for that. Anyway, now we have ourselves a little QTE. Gonna beat up Poseidon a little bit. Smacking that. There we go. And there we go. The shield is gone. His water avatar is weaker. Now we move on to Phase 3, the final phase. Phase 3 is going to be a repeat of Phase 1 in almost every way, except now Poseidon and the Hippocampi that are helping him have additional variants to their attack. So instead of just attacking the left side of the arena or the right side of the arena, they can attack the front half of the arena or the back half of the arena. It's exactly the same. It may trip you up. There's also especially a lightning attack that attacks the entire arena one piece at a time. If he ends up doing that, just use your magic for invincibility frames and finish the battle quickly that way. He has a line that he didn't show off that he didn't utter in my recording, where he says that Atlantis will be avenged, which is a nice reference to Ghost of Sparta, a game that won't come out for months at this point. But clearly, Sony Santa Monica and Ready at Dawn were hard at work making sure that that got done. Next time, I'm going to share a little tale about the process of recording this.
Zeus should have kept you where you belong. No matter how many gods fall, there will always be another to stand against you.
They will fall as well.
The death of Olympus means the death of us all.
Then prepare for your death, Poseidon. I have a tale to share about recording this, but that'll be for next time. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all for part 2. Bye-bye. What will you do, Father? You can no longer hide behind the skirts of Athena.
Athena is dead because of the rage that consumes you, Kratos. What more will you destroy?
The hands of death could not defeat me. The sisters of fate could not hold me. And you will not see the end of this day. I will have my revenge!
Petulant child! I will tolerate your insolence no more!
I can hold on no longer!
If I help you, we will both fall. Even now, Zeus gains.
The destruction of Zeus is why you saved me from death!
I saved you to serve the Titans.
Do not deny me my revenge!
Listen carefully, Kratos. You were a simple pawn, nothing more. Zeus is no longer your concern. This is our war.